Welcome and thank you for logging on and watching Spoonie Space. That's our weekly web-based show made by Spoonies for Spoonies. The topic of this episode is, where does your money come from?
I tried to get disability and at first couldn't get it. I tried at the 6-month point, and so then I resubmitted, and when I resubmitted, I had filled out the paperwork better, and I will go into that a little later on. I have some tips and tricks for filling out your disability paperwork to help you hopefully get it the first time around. The American disability system is so incredibly frustrating to deal with. It will flare you while you're dealing with it and going through it. So for all of you going through it, my heart is with you. I've been there, and I know your frustration. That being said, when I did my disability, at the time I only had the diagnosis of gastroparesis. And so I was told I most likely would get denied because at that time they weren't recognizing it as a disability. However, I believe they are now. Also, I believe fibromyalgia is about to be put on that list as well, if it hasn't already. I read an article about that recently. But when I filled out my disability paperwork, I had someone helping me, and the person told me, you need to be as detailed as possible about what you experience in your day. So what I did, and at the time my health was really severe. I had a PICC line. I had all kinds of things wrong with me that clearly, obviously, I couldn't work with. But not just that, was the fatigue and everything that came along with it. And so I described in detail what my day was like. And they don't give you much space to write it on. So I took and wrote it on a separate piece of paper and attached it to it, which you are allowed to do. You're allowed to add anything extra to the back of your application. So I literally detailed, because at the time my husband, we had a 2-story house. He had to carry me up and down the stairs. So basically my day was, I got out of bed and my husband had to help me stabilize. Then he would help me walk to the bathroom so I could take care of everything, morning duties in the bathroom. Then he would help me and carry me downstairs. Then he would fix my meals. Then he would help me try to walk around and get some exercise a little bit. Then I would have my fluids running. I told him even he had to help me in and out of the bathtub, but not just that. At the time, he had to physically wash me. And I literally put every single detail of my day, of what it takes to get through it. And that is one of the key things you can do to help yourself when filling out your paperwork. The unfortunate thing with the disability you have to remember is, if you've ever gone into the office, those people are overworked, overstressed, and mentally are probably not always all in a good space, and they're the ones making the decisions for us. So if you only put a tiny bit of information in it and they're having a bad day, they're going to look you over. They're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, blah. They're not really that sick. But if you can detail it and you can really show it, also, the other thing you can do to help speed the process and help them is get every single one of your medical records you can possibly get. There is a part that you have to fill in all your doctor's information so that they can contact your doctors. But if you have those records and you can submit copies of your records with your application, that also will speed the process and help it go along a little further for you. Oh, and then of course, if you get denied, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer to help you through the process. Make sure they're reputable. Make sure they're not someone that's going to take advantage of you. There are some out there too that you don't have to pay them anything until you win your disability case, because disability, once you win, you get a back pay from when you don't get paid for the first 6 months that you're out of work, but then every month after that they consider that you should have been paid. So then you'll get a back pay. Even if it's like a year, you'll get a certain amount back pay. And so then the lawyer will take his fee out of that. If you don't win, typically there's no fee or very little fee. They'll base it off of your whatever income you might possibly have.
Like Lois was saying, definitely with the lawyer, you'll want to contact them, and most of those, it does, if I recall right, it was 25% up to a certain cap. There's a lot of regulations behind it, so as long as you choose the reputable lawyers, you will be treated okay. Make sure you choose a specialized lawyer too for disability. Don't go, hey, my brother Joe's, ex-fiance's partner's brother-in-law used to be a lawyer, I'll get him. No, actually find one that specializes in disability when you are looking for that.